We've been learning how to multiply fractions, and I wanted to do this screencast as a resource to provide you with a resource to refer to if you're by chance at home multiplying fractions and forget what to do. And there's three simple steps to multiply fractions: numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, just like we did here. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 5 is 15. Watch this. 2 times 2 makes 4. And then you multiply your denominators. 3 times 5 is 15. Once you multiply your numerators and then you multiply your denominators, you have to check and see if the answer is a fraction that can be simplified or reduced. If it can be simplified, that means that there is a greatest common factor between these two numbers. This particular example, there is no number that can make 4 and 15 greater than 1. So 1 will be the greatest common factor, and you can do that using a factor tree and the Venn diagram. So you would do a tree for 4, break it down 2 times 2, circle the 2's, and then a tree for 15, 3 times 5, circle the 3, circle the 5 because they're prime, and the 2 and the 2 on the 4 tree has nothing in common with the 3 and the 5 that will be on the tree for 15, thus meaning that the greatest common factor will be 1. So here this is reduced. There is not a number greater than 1 that can make both 4 and 15. Now, if there is not a number that can make the two numbers and the greatest common factor is 1, your greatest common factor is never 0. Simplifying the fraction. So if you wanted to simplify the fraction, this says to divide the top and bottom by the highest number, which is the GCF, that can go into both the numerator and the denominator. So in this example of 4/8, 2/4, 1/2, that means 4/8 can reduce down to 2/4. If you look at the pizza, you have 4 slices here. These 4 are missing, so 4 out of 8 were eaten. And then if you combine 2 slices, these two, you will get this piece right here, and combine these two, and you will get this piece right here. So that means 4/8 can become 2/4, because if I had all the pieces to this pizza right here, there will be another slice here and another slice here, making 4 slices total, and 2 out of the 4 have been eaten. Now, if I didn't want to cut the pizza at all, and I just sliced it down the middle or sliced it in half, then 1/2 of the pizza is gone. So I can say that 4/8 can be reduced to 2/4, and 2/4 can be reduced to 1/2. 1/2 is the lowest it can be reduced because there is a 1 in the numerator. Anytime your numerator is a 1, the fraction is reduced. Anytime your fraction is like 3/4 or 5/6 or 7/8 or 8/9 or 9/10, one away from each other, like you're counting, then your fraction is also already reduced, because there's not a number greater than 1 that can make both of those numbers, because they're only 1 away from each other. 9/10, 9 is only 1 away from 10. 1/2, 1 is only 1 away from 2. 3/4, 3 is only 1 away from 4. And there's not a number that can make 3 and 4 because they're close together, 1 away from each other. So simplifying a fraction is just, for example, 24 over 108. If you don't know the greatest common factor, you can do what was done in this example, where they said, okay, I realize that 24 and 108 are both even numbers. So 2 can make any even number. So they divided each of those by 2. The numerator got divided by 2. The denominator got divided by 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 108 divided by 2 is 54. Now, 12 and 54 are still 2 even numbers, and 2 can be used to reduce those two numbers, because 2 can make any even numbers. And I know that because I know my divisibility rules, which you have been given. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 54 divided by 2 is 27. Now I have to find what number can make 6 and 27. Well, 3 can make 6 and 3 can make 27. So I take 6 and divide it by 3, get 2. Take 27 divided by 3 and get 9. So 2/9 is as low as we can go, because there's not a number that can make 2 and make 9. And that is how you simplify fractions. Another example would be like 10 over 35. There, you have to find a number that can make 10 and 35. Well, 10 is even, 35 is not. So in this example, using a 2 won't work. So then you can either do two things. You can, or you can do one thing. You can do factor trees and say, okay, 10 broken down is 2 times 5. 35 broken down is 5 times 7. Also, these numbers end in a 0 or 5. Using my divisibility rules, I know that 5 can make any number that ends with a 0 or 5. So then I know that I can divide 10 by 5 and divide 35 by 5. 10 divided by 5, right down here, will give me 2. 35 divided by 5 would give me 7. So then I know 2/7 is reduced to lowest terms. Multiplying mixed fractions or mixed numbers is pretty simple. This is also something we've been discussing in class, and I wanted to provide you with a resource to use at home. To multiply mixed fractions, you first need to convert the mixed fraction to an improper fraction, meaning the numerator is larger than the denominator. So once you convert the improper fraction or the mixed fraction to an improper fraction, then you can get to a point where you can multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, like you did with the proper fractions, where you had like 1/2 or 2/3 times 2/5. So in this example, 1 3/8 times 3, the 1 3/8 is the mixed fraction or the mixed number that needs to be converted into an improper fraction. And how do you do that? Well, you multiply the denominator times the whole number. 8 times 1 is 8. And then you add this numerator right here, this 3. You would add this 3, and you would have 8 plus 3, which is 11/8. This 3 right here is not a mixed fraction, but it is an improper fraction. It has an understood denominator underneath that you can't see, and that denominator is a 1. So 1 3/8 is one pizza and 3/8 of another. So if you think about that, 3 out of 8 pieces, so that means 5 pieces here are gone. So if I cut this pizza into 8, this pizza should be also cut into 8. So that would be 8 slices here, plus 3 more is your 11/8 that we got when we did 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So this mixed fraction will be 11/8 as an improper fraction. 1 3/8 will be 11/8 as an improper fraction. This improper fraction right here is 3/1, because anytime you have just a whole number and there's no denominator, there's an understood 1 as the denominator, because 3 divided by 1, fractions are division problems, 3 divided by 1 would be 3. Now that I have converted 1 3/8 to 11/8, I'm just going to multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So in this example, the 1 3/8 right here has been converted to 11/8, and then the 3 has been converted to 3/1. 11 times 3 makes 33, and then 8 times 1 makes 8. So the answer would be 33/8 when you do 1 3/8 times 3. And now that you have this improper fraction here, you have to convert it back to a mixed fraction because we want to simplify. So this reads 33 divided by 8, because fractions are division problems and you always divide the numerator by the denominator. So if that was a house, 33 would be in, 8 would be out. The numerator always goes in the house and the denominator always go outside the house. So if we were to take 33/8, 33 and divide it by 8, 8 goes into 33 4 times, because 4 times 8 is 32. So that's the closest you can get to 33 counted by 8s is 32. So then since 4 times 8, 8 will go into 33 4 times. So that gives me 4 whole pizzas, and then I would subtract 32 from the 33, and that leaves me with 1 slice of pizza left. And since my pizzas are cut into 8s, that one slice that I have left is going to represent 1/8 of the pizza. So my answer would be 4 1/8, like you see right here. So to review that, 1 3/8 got switched or got converted to an improper fraction, 11/8. 3 got converted to an improper fraction, 3/1. The 1 is an understood denominator. And when I multiply numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator, that gave me 33/8. And once I divided 33 by 8, I got 4 wholes and 1 of the 8th left over. Okay, so that's 1/8, 1 out of 8 slices left over. Another example where you have two mixed fractions that you have to multiply, not harder, but just a couple more steps, because you have to convert both of the mixed fractions into improper fractions here. So 1 1/2 would be switched, will be changed to an improper fraction, and that means I will multiply 2 times 1, which is 2, and then add 1, which will give me 3/2, which is right here. Oops, right here, 3/2. And then I would do 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, and that would give me 11/5 right here. Then I would do numerator times numerator. 3 times 11 is 33, and I would do denominator times denominator. 2 times 5 is 10. So then I have a product of 33/10. This is improper, and so I need to reduce it or simplify it. So if I reduce or simplify, that simply means that I would take the 33 and divide it by 10. 10 goes into 33 3 times. There will be 3 leftovers because 10 times 3 is 30. 33 subtract 30 is 3. So that will leave me with 3 out of 10 left over. This just shows you step by step what I just explained. 1 1/2 turns into 3/2 as an improper fraction. 2 1/5 turns into 11/5 as an improper fraction because you multiply 5 times 2 and then you add 1. And then when you do numerator times numerator, you get 3 times 11. That gives you 33. And 2 times 5 makes 10. That leaves you with 33/10. And 33/10 is 3 3/10 because 10 times 3, or you can check right here, 10 times 3 is 30. Plus 3 more makes 33. So that will be 33/10.